Relationship advice. Update. I, 27 male, have unknowingly been using my girlfriend's, 27F, ex's molded X toy to get her off. Original post. Hi. A little background, I have been with my girlfriend for a little over a year now. We both have a kinky side to us and have an active intimate life. Early on in the relationship, we talked about our kinks and whatnot, and she said she was into toys, molds and vibes, among other things, adult movies, spanking, etc. This was music to my ears, as I tend to suffer from premature release, and incorporating toys is another way to make sure a girl can get off. So, I offered to go to the nearest adult store and pick out a couple of things. She suggested we could go together one day, but in the meantime, we can use the few she already has. Well, the one toy she really liked getting off on is a big, thick dildo. Usually, we would use some toys, she could finish on the mold, and I would have intercourse with her. I was somewhat intimidated by the size of it, as it is significantly larger and thicker than mine, and I'm smaller than average, but like I said, I've got a kinky side and she really seemed to enjoy how big it was. We use this mold on many occasions. A couple of weeks ago while drinking, I asked her where she got it, and if it is an adult movie star mold. She kind of laughed and deflected. It seemed weird to me, so I kept asking. She eventually admitted it is a mold of her ex-boyfriend's member. I was kind of floored. I've used toys on partners in the past. And when we broke up, I have thrown them out. Not only did she keep a dildo molded from her ex-boyfriend's member, she was having me use it on her to get off. Since she told me this, I have felt humiliated. I asked her why she wouldn't have thrown it out, but she kept changing the subject and said she didn't want to talk about it anymore. I feel like this is a huge violation of trust and respect. I'm embarrassed and don't know how to deal with the topic. I have rejected her advances once since the talk, and a business trip has eaten up some of the time. We will be together this weekend and I am sure X will be on the radar for her. I'm not sure how I should handle this. Now for the top advice before reading the update. Wow, that is some weird non-consensual artificial cuckold action going on there. Exactly. This is a kink to her. She used him as an object to act out her fantasy without his consent. In a time period where we are supposed to be more sensitive to consent, why are all these people in this thread making excuses for her actions? So far, I've only seen one comment basically calling out OP for overreacting about having his ego hurt, and that he should just get over it and move on with her in the relationship. Okay, cool dude. As a woman, I'd be the first to say that if that chick was a best friend or even a plain old friend and I found that out about her, I'd verbally mess her up and call her out on it. Women have been, can be, and will be wrong. I have been wrong before and will be wrong again. Fact of freaking life. Yeah, that's really uncomfortable. If my boyfriend got a flashlight molded like his ex's hole, I think I'd be really sad. You need to sit down and have a huge talk with her. That's just kinda strange to have to hide it from you. Honesty is the policy. She doesn't get to just stop the conversation. Sounds like OP is a bit pushed around. That would be a deal breaker for me, really disrespectful, and part of the humiliation of you was likely turning her on as well. She can be quite vocal in bed, and when using the toy, always made comments about how big it was, how deep it was, etc. If it was an adult star mold, I wouldn't have a problem. That's what it would be there for. But, knowing it was her ex's, makes me feel different. I now am wondering if those comments were a shot at me. And now for the update. So, we had the talk. My relationship is over. After some awkwardness, and a couple glasses of wine late Saturday, I brought it up. She again tried to deflect and change the subject, but I demanded we stay on topic. I told her outright how I felt, how I thought this was disrespectful and dishonest on her part, etc. She tried to play it off like I was being immature and this wasn't a big deal. Then she spun it into a member size issue. I kept trying to tell her that the bigger problem is using a toy molded from her ex-boyfriend, and not the fact that it was bigger than mine, but she kept going with the accusations. I told her I wouldn't have had an issue if she wanted a big toy and I was down for anything, but it feels she has a weird, emotional connection to this toy. The conversation then took an uglier turn as she was outright say I have a small chunk, premature release issues, etc. I knew there wasn't any way this was going to get settled in an adult manner, so I outright told her the relationship was over. Thanks for the overwhelmingly supportive comments in my original post. They were helpful and confirmed my feelings. Now I guess I will have to deal with the humiliation of my ex telling people why we broke up. I'm sure she will spin it as a size issue. Edit, thank you, again, for the overwhelming support. It would impossible to answer all of the messages I received. I believe I made the right decision and will become a stronger person because of this. Your kindness and support is truly appreciated. Now I guess I will have to deal with the humiliation of my ex telling people why we broke up. I'm sure she will spin it as a size issue. To be blunt, if it becomes a problem, I'd have no issue telling people you broke up over her being unwilling to ditch her creepy ex-toy made from the mold of her ex-boyfriend's junk. And when they give you a what? Look, just say, exactly. That seems like the best option. Hopefully, it won't come to that. It shouldn't have to, but that's entirely up to you and what you feel comfortable with disclosing. Also, off topic but related to your original post, it sounds like you have some confidence issues that your ex really exploited, and you let her push you around much more than you should have. Having a smaller than average member is not the end of the world, but I think if anything were to come of this on your end, it's that you build up some confidence before dating again to avoid being taken advantage of. The size of the member isn't as important as how you use it and how confident you are in bed. Wish you the best, my dude. Now I guess I will have to deal with the humiliation of my ex telling people why we broke up. I'm sure she will spin it as a size issue. Don't worry, if she does, the only person who's going to look small is her. Onward to better things. Not to mention you could always spread the word that she has a molded toy of her ex's peen that she still uses and won't get rid of. That kind of screams insecurity or clinging to the past to me. No way, dude. If she goes public with this, she will be the one that looks bad. Yeah, she wouldn't look good. But as they say in a legal world, you can't unring the bell. If she puts it out there, it's out there. Now for the next story. Update: overheard my girlfriend say she would leave me for someone taller. Original post. My girlfriend and I have been dating for almost 3 years. Last night she had some friends over after she finished work. I work from home, so I only left my office to be formal and say hello, and continued working. It was easy to hear the conversations they were having even though my office is down the hall. I then heard my girlfriend mention that she would leave me for a taller man. Her friends made a comment on how I was a lot shorter than her ex-boyfriend. My girlfriend responded, "If only he was as tall as X, he'd be 10 times better. If I could find someone taller than him, I would." I guess I should mention my girlfriend is barely 4'11" in shoes. I'm 5'9". The issue isn't the height, but the fact that she would leave me for something so trivial. I talked to her about it since and said she didn't mean anything by it, just that she always dated taller men. She has since apologized multiple times. Is this a red flag of any kind of things to come, or is it just me overthinking? Now for the top advice before reading the first update. Tell her that you understand and it's okay because you'd leave her for someone nicer. Nah, that won't work. She obviously knows she is horrible and does not care. Tell her you would leave her for someone skinnier or prettier. Time to hammer it in just what the nature of your relationship has become. She would dump you for someone taller, yet she is barely 4'11" in shoes. The hell? She's judging you for your height? The next guy that dates her could say the same thing about her, and she'd likely flip her crap. I'm 5 feet. My husband is 5 feet 8 inches and he is perfect for me. She knew you were listening and she knew exactly what she was saying. Right? I'm 5 feet 4 inches and my husband is 5 feet 8 inches and he's perfect. Her standards are crazy, especially considering how short she is. And I agree with you that she knew exactly what he was saying. It sounded like an attempt at negging to me. Let's ignore the topic of height for a moment, because saying to someone that you would leave your partner if he/she was XYZ, shows a complete lack of respect towards your partner. It also shows intent to look somewhere else. It's not so much about height, but I think she has no respect for you and also probably have a wandering eye. I had to scroll too far down for this. The disrespect on her side was my main issue with this post. Now for the first update. I didn't feel the need to make an entire different post for the update, so here it is. I left early in the morning to make sure I wasn't making irrational choices. When I came back she was immediately apologetic, but I didn't want any more apologies. I talked to her about how little respect she had for me that she felt the need to make jokes at my expense. She started crying and begging me not to break up, and feeding me the standard BS people say when they don't want to break up. To not bore you with the details, I broke it off. I lose nothing at this point. I should clarify something from my initial post. I get that people can joke around and it doesn't mean anything, but when I confronted her about it, she denied it and got very defensive. That's the part that got to me. The fact that she tried to cover it up before apologizing. I read all the comments and thank you. Now for the final update. So I read all the comments on my last post, and even after breaking up with my girlfriend, I was doubting if I made the right decision. I wasn't going to update because I didn't see a reason to do it, but after the last couple days, I came to a final conclusion. I want to clarify that I broke up with my girlfriend because of how easy it was for her to disrespect me behind my back, not because of the actual height difference. After I broke up with her, she continued to apologize to me. She would send me letters and call me a lot. In one of the texts I actually responded to, she asked if we could meet up and talk. Without going into too much detail, she wanted a second chance and overall sounded very remorseful. I was about to agree, but something she said made me realize I would be making a mistake if I did. She said, "I'll remember to respect you from now on." That sentence made me realize that I made the right choice by breaking up. Since when do you have to be reminded to have the bare minimum of respect for your partner? Either way, I'm glad I didn't give her a second chance. I don't know if any of you care at this point, but there's the update. On a side note, the other day I was hanging out with one of my female friends who happens to be taller, and I guess she saw us and started texting me that she doesn't need me, started saying that my friend was a pig and that I moved on too fast. Blocked her and had a laugh. I know for a fact I made the right choice. Now for the closing comments. Tall enough to stand up for yourself. Good for you, mate. This right here, man. She said, "I'll remember to respect you from now on." Nice catch. The sentence I mean, not the girl. Good for you for moving on. The worst thing about many of the girls I dated is that, at some point I fell out of love because they did disrespectful things without a second thought. Don't doubt yourself, man. You made the right choice, now just move forward. Don't let her texts and letters draw you back in. Good job for blocking her. Good luck. I agree he made the right choice, but self-doubt is a normal part of life. You should always question your decisions because it shows that you're concerned with making the right ones. And that's it for this video, guys. If you have thoughts to share, leave a comment below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you like this content. I'll catch you in the next one. Good day, everyone.